When life gets overwhelming, true peace isn't found in doing more. It's found in Jesus. Bible League International wants to help with their resource Abide, a free 31-day devotional to help you connect with God in as little as 5 minutes a day. This resource is designed to help you spend time with the one who gives true rest. Text Abide to 94878 for your free copy. That's Abide to 94878.
Life Audio.
The Bible Study Podcast, episode 983. Today, the Bible Study Podcast continues the study of the book of Exodus with chapter 24. Welcome to the Bible Study Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Christensen. Chapter 24, The Covenant Confirmed. But first, a word from this sponsor.
Let's be honest. Ever read a passage and wondered what it really means in its original context? True Bible study isn't just casual reading. It's about connecting historical background, cross-references, and themes. If you've ever felt like navigating all of this is too difficult, you need to check out Logos. Logos is a game-changing platform that equips you to explore hard questions with absolute confidence, knowing you're drawing from reliable, well-respected academic resources. Whether you're at your desk or on the go, Logos helps you follow that path of discovery naturally. With their new AI tools, you can ask Logos any biblical question and get trusted answers from a biblical library. To help you dive into the layers of meaning in the Word, Logos is offering my listeners an exclusive free 60-day trial. Just go to logos.com/deep. That's LOGOS.com/deep to claim your free 60-day trial. So stop guessing and start going deeper together.
Chapter 24 starts like this. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. You are to worship at a distance, but Moses alone is to approach the Lord, and the others must not come near, and the people may not come up with him." Then Moses went and told the people all the Lord's words and laws. They responded with one voice, "Everything the Lord has said we will do." Moses then wrote down everything the Lord had said. He got up early the next morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain and set up 12 stone pillars representing the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he sent young Israelite men, and they offered burnt offerings and sacrificed young bulls as fellowship offerings to the Lord. Moses took half the blood and put it in bowls, and the other half he splashed against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and started to read it to the people. They responded, "We will do everything the Lord has said, we will obey." Moses then took the blood, sprinkled it on the people, and said, "This is the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words." Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 elders of Israel went up and saw the God of Israel. Under his feet was something like a pavement made of lapis lazuli, as bright blue as the sky. But God did not raise his hand against these leaders of the Israelites. They saw God, and they ate and drank. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up with me on the mountain and stay here, and I will give you the tablets of stone with the law and commandments I have written for their instruction." Then Moses set out with Joshua his aide, and Moses went up on the mountain of God. He said to the elders, "Wait here for us until we come back to you. Aaron and Hur are with you, and anyone involved in a dispute can go to them." When Moses went up on the mountain, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai. For 6 days the cloud covered the mountain, and on the 7th day the Lord called Moses from within the cloud. To the Israelites the glory of the Lord looked like a consuming fire on top of the mountain. Then Moses entered the cloud as he went up on the mountain, and he stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. So we've got all of this that's been going on at Mount Sinai. We've got the 10 Commandments. We've got some of the laws. It's apparently the book of the law, whether that's the whole book of Leviticus, not sure. But they read that. They all say, this is great. We'll do all these things. And then we're saying, okay, Moses and the elders, we're going to go up. Oh my gosh, they get to see God. This is amazing. And there's this blue like lapis lazuli, this precious gem. And then it's okay, Moses, now you get to come up separately and you're going to stay here for a while. And he's up there for 40 days and 40 nights. And 40 days and 40 nights is an interesting time period. I think this may be the first one in the Bible, or was there during Noah as well? But we're going to see the 40 years in the wilderness, Jesus in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. And this is one of those things that 40 days means a long time. And he's up there a long time because he's going to get some instructions. He's going to get some instructions about building some things like the tabernacle, like the ark. And we're going to continue on into chapter 25 to some of those instructions. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites to bring me an offering. You are to receive the offering for me from everyone whose hearts prompts them to give. These are the offerings you are to receive from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, goat hair, ram skins dyed red, and another type of durable leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense, and onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and breastplate. Then have them make a sanctuary for me, and I will dwell among them. Make this tabernacle and all its furnishings exactly like the pattern I will show you." So the tabernacle is going to be the temporary, movable temple of God that is where the presence of God will be obvious among the people of God. And we're going to get some instructions about it later on. Collect from among the people. You're not going to go to the store and buy stuff, right? This is the stuff that people have taken with them remember when they were leaving Egypt, the Egyptians gave them a bunch of stuff to just take this and go. And so they're going to collect some of those things that are going to be used for the tabernacle, for the other things they're going to be creating here. The ark. Have them make an ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. Overlay it with pure gold, both inside and out, and make a gold molding around it. Cast 4 gold rings for it, and fasten them to its 4 feet, with 2 rings on one side and 2 rings on the other. Then make poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Insert the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark to carry it. The poles are to remain in the rings of this ark. They are not to be removed. Then put in the ark the tablets of the covenant law, which I will give you. Make an atonement cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1.5 cubits wide. And make 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. Make 1 cherub at one end and the second cherub on the other. Make the cherubim of one piece with the cover at the 2 ends. The cherubim are to have their wings spread upward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim are to face each other, looking toward the cover. Place the cover on top of the ark, and put in the ark the tablets of the covenant law that I will give you. There, above the cover, between the 2 cherubim that are over the ark of the covenant law, I will meet with you and give you all my commands for the Israelites. So this is sort of the portable presence of God, this ark here. We're going to put the 10 commandments in there. We're going to put some other things in there later to remember this journey, but that's what's going to go in here now. And a cubit is about 1.5 feet. It's the distance from your tip of your fingers to your elbow. And what it's standardized on at the time, I do not know. But if you've seen the movie The Raiders of the Lost Ark, you've seen a model of what somebody thought that the Ark of the Covenant would look like, with these 2 angels, the 2 cherubim at the top out of hammered gold. The table. Make a table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. Overlay it with pure gold and make a gold molding around it. Also make a rim a handbreadth wide, and put a gold molding on the rim. Make 4 gold rings for the table and fasten them to the 4 corners where the 4 legs are. The rings are to be close to the rim to hold the poles used to carry the table. Make the poles of acacia wood, overlay them with gold, and carry the table with them. And make its plates and dishes of pure gold, as well as its pitchers and bowls for the pouring out of offerings. Put the bread of the presence on this table to be before me at all times. So this is similar to what you'd find an altar in a church. This is the table. It's going to have the offering bread on it, although the offering bread isn't going to be the same as we think of if you go to a church these days. But it's one of the types of offering that you would give is this grain offering made into bread that's going to sit on the table. And then the lampstand. Make a lampstand of pure gold, hammer out its base and shaft, and make its flower like cups, buds and blossoms of one piece with them. 6 branches are to extend from the side of the lampstand, 3 on one side and 3 on the other. 3 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms are to be on one branch, 3 on the next, and the same for all 6 branches extending from the lampstand. And all the lampstand there are to be 4 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. 1 bud shall be under the first pair of branches extending from the lampstand, a 2nd bud under the 2nd pair, and a 3rd bud under the 3rd pair, 6 branches in all. The buds and branches shall be of one piece with the lampstand hammered out of pure gold. Then make it 7 lamps and set them up so that they light the space in front of it. Its wick, trimmers, and trays are to be of pure gold. A talent of pure gold is to be used for the lampstand and all these accessories. See that you make them according to the pattern shown you on the mountain. So apparently, Moses is getting some other instructions besides just this verbal instructions, or at least that's what I'm interpreting by make them according to the pattern shown you on the mountain, that I'm going to show you what I want it to look like. And God is sketching out some lampstands that are going to look like flowers and buds and blossoms. And I haven't really seen pictures of the lampstand that have been recreated. I think of a menorah, but this is obviously much more fancy than that. It's got 7 lamps, and these would be oil lamps, but it's very elaborate, and everything is made out of gold. So Moses up on the mountain, we're going to leave him up there getting instructions for making stuff like this, and we're going to continue that next week. But with that, we're going to end this episode of the Bible Study Podcast. If you have any questions, send an email to chris2x@gmail.com, or better yet, leave a comment on this episode at thebiblestudypodcast.com. And as always, thanks so much for listening. I want to take just a second to thank the team at Life Audio for their partnership with us on this podcast. If you go to lifeaudio.com, you'll find dozens of other faith-centered podcasts in their network. They've got shows about prayer, Bible study, parenting, and more.
Hey there, it's Nicole Eunice, host of the How to Study the Bible podcast, where every single week we join together to encounter God through His Word. You can subscribe at lifeaudio.com.
I'm Mark Vinette, host of the Historical Jesus podcast, which presents the new series, Miracles, focusing on biblical miracles from the Old and New Testament. Join me on the Historical Jesus podcast as I explore the interesting, compelling, intriguing, and wonderful miracle stories of the Bible and the many great miraculous events inspired by the words and deeds of Jesus Christ.